Hey, what's going on, guys? Vega here from SWIFFTX Special Forces, and of course, as you can see on the screen or by the title you just read, I kind of want to talk about SUQA, which is a new cryptocurrency that just came out. That is a proof of work that can be mined in the proof of work algorithm X22I. Of course, there's claims in there that this currency is Asic resistant, which honestly, if you've listened or heard of Christy Ogata Girl, basically nothing is really ASIC resistant. Just like for every security measure out there, there's a way to crack it or bypass it, or a roundabout way to break in. For FPGAs, that it's saying FPGA resistant as well. Those devices or components can be kind of like recoded or reconfigured, or a new bit stream can be compiled so that way it can mine that particular algorithm if they choose to do so, or if somebody has the knowledge to do so. And then another one that they're saying that SUQA is resistant to is quantum. So quantum computing, quantum computers, not allowing those devices or those quantum computers being able to mine the X22I algorithm. Now, it's a bold claim. Maybe they have the dev have the capability of backing it up. I'm not a professional on that aspect, so I can't say for sure, and I'm not a cryptographer. But I know, every time an algorithm has come out and claimed that they're this, and this resistant, some company or somebody figured out a way to kind of work around that. But we're not here to talk about what it is or what it isn't. Let's get some more information on it, find out what exactly it is. I at first came upon it during like late September, I believe, and what drew me in to it was the attention it was getting. And I believe the technicals, if you ever checked out his channel, definitely look into it, mentioned it as well, was the activity, the amount of activity and interest in this particular currency. Everything from the number of pools that were going to be supporting it, exchanges lined up to support it, the community was interested in it, Bitcoin talk thread not blew up too extravagant, but it did progress quite effectively. So that kind of drew my attention to it. Now, I'm not going to say I was like one of the first people to start mining it, but I have been mining it off and on here and there. And just recently, I think this past week, because today's November 6th at the time of recording, this past week, X22I was an algo, and not only profit switching but direct mining. That was actually one of the top coins to mine if you have your programs or your calculators or whatever kind of tuned for your hardware to determine if it is or not. And it was for my system, so I was mining it at that time plus whatever I got before. But let's talk about a couple features on this thing. So this is supposedly, according to another bold claim, fastest POW coin, 533 transactions per second, 75 times more scalable than Bitcoin. And just like other coins that we've seen something similar to this, so like staking, right? So Luxcoin, you got staking, Bitcoin interest, you can earn interest on the coins that you stake. This coin kind of has the same thing. So investors, which would be you, right? So you have a certain amount of currency, can earn 5% APR interest from term deposits, even if the wallet is offline. So if you download the Windows wallet, Linux, or Mac, which they do have, you can basically send a certain amount to an address specifically for, I believe what they call is time lock. Yeah, time lock deposit. And the first 3 months, monthly term deposit APR would be 25% APR to encourage early adopters. So basically, since they just started, the first 3 months of the time they started, you get 25% APR. So if you already have some, you might want to look into the time lock. So SUQA, if you go to SUQA.org and you're interested in it, you just go to downloads, click on the wallets. They got it for Windows, Mac, and Linux. They also have a paper wallet option, but they don't have the mobile just yet. I believe that's in development. But they also have their own miners, so you can go to downloads and click on miners. What I found, or what I've been using, is the T-Rex 0.72 miner. Some people are using the CC miner specifically made for it, I want to say, or an updated version that can mine X22I, but I've been getting better hash rates with the T-Rex. So just bear in mind, kind of, I don't know, test it on your hardware. Let me know in the comments what you get, if you get something better or not. I do plan on doing a future video where I'm testing the 1070, the 1066 gig, the 1080 Ti, and the 2080, because I found some kind of weird things going on here. When I'm mining on the 2080, for some reason, I found that I get better performance, because this is a memory intensive application. Matter of fact, let me read some information off to you if I can. So X22i Algo. X22i is the newest, most complex, advanced, quantum-resistant algorithm for millions of GPU miners, and is also one of the most power-efficient hash algorithms. Honestly, I've been pretty much pulling the same amount of power for all my cards that I was pulling on other algorithms, but I'm not sure how that applies. I stands for the 22 algorithm's intelligence, and it is not just another clone or copycat of another algo, but instead it has too much optimization potential for all CUDA and OpenCL developers because of the added complex post-quantum, what I would call SWIFFTX or SWIFFTX. It's SWIFFTX. This new POW algorithm provides a few advantages. One is adding quantum resistance to this algo, resisting memory requirements. Requiring the memory requirements for this is 4 times more, so it's no problem for CPU and GPU, but it's harder for FPGAs and ASICs. A much longer algo chain is with the 22 algorithms is supposed to create a lot of need for the chip space to be implemented to implement the whole chain. So basically, they need more chip space on these FPGAs or ASICs in order to implement the whole chain, which is supposed to be less cost effective. And then they're going to require a hard fork every 6 months just to try to keep the ASICs and FPGAs at bay. Now, we've seen that before, we heard that before, and then sometimes the companies aren't up to par, but we'll see what this dev team does and how they actually implement it. But when you're trying to combat ASIC and FPGAs or technology that keeps advancing, you got to keep on advancing, so you got to stay ahead of them. So that'd be interesting to see. When I was mining it on my 2080, normally like Ravencoin, setting my memory at 0 was better for me, or I was getting a better hash rate. So like 13.5, 13.4 mega hashes per second on the 2080, whereas if I leave it at my 400 or my plus 500, plus 600 on the memory, I was getting 13 or maybe like 12.9 mega hashes. I'm still going to be doing some testing, so don't. This is not definitive yet. If you're interested in me providing you results or making a video on my results for mining the X22i algorithm with my 1070, 1066 gig, 1080 Ti, and my 2080, I would be more than happy to do so. But just let me know in the comments if this is something of interest to you. Moving forward, these guys have a great community. The community is growing, is what I meant to say. They're pretty responsive. Here's the roadmap, by the way. If you want to pause the screen, take a look at that. That's the roadmap. But they have a great, team. A bunch of people in the community that try to help each other out. So if you have any questions, they actually have a Discord, which I'll try to link in the description below. But also, if you go to SUQA and go down to the bottom, there you go. Need help? Join Discord. SUQA interests me in a number of different ways, not only because the activity or the amount of interest the community had in it, but the time deposit was interesting, but the most interesting is the implementation of what I would say SWIFFTX, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Whether or not it's going to be Asic resistant, FPGA resistant, the claim is there. Really, actions speak louder than words, so we'll see what the dev team does. I'm not going to bash them on it. But like I said, with Oh God a Girl mentioned, there's no such thing as ASIC resistance, which sucks. But you just have to keep on staying ahead of the chain. Every time they come out with new technology that can actually hash an algorithm, then either that currency or that coin has to fork in order to prevent that from happening again in the future, which stinks. So very interesting, this coin. It's fairly new. Not too many mainstream exchanges support it yet. So if you do want to buy it, there's a certain few that I actually, let me see here, certain few that it's showing on right now. Let me see if I can show it to you. There you go. So Trade Ogre, Crypto Bridge, there you go, Stacks. I haven't used these exchanges much. I heard of Crypto Bridge, but I haven't really used any of these exchanges. So as it continues to grow and goes further mainstream, we might see some further growth. But until then, the best way to get it is to mine it. And my 2080 Ti, my 2080, not my Ti, but my 2080 is one of the top 3 algorithms for my system to mine, not only on Turing, but Pascal, I can't say it right. So X16R is obviously my top one, X22I is my second best, Lyra2Z, and this is using profit switching because for some reason SUQA is not showing in my coins, my normal coins. I think it's because I have what to mine as the calculator and not the coin calculators.io. I'll turn it on later, but SUQA is definitely a project you may be interested in. Good FAQs, good question. Check out their white paper. It's a little bit more technical than what I would feel comfortable explaining to you. But the implementation and the dev team definitely has got a solid foundation to make a really good project out of. So keep your eye on it. I hope that I shed some light on any questions that you might have. And definitely let me know if there's any data that you would like on as far as mining the X22I algorithm in the future. I thank you for your time. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate it.